Hey there. So it's the dog days of summer. You know, the rivers are low, the golf course ponds are almost empty. We got to be getting close to drought conditions. Like some of the rivers, I've never seen this low in the 30 years of living in this area. You know, lawns are getting all burnt out. We haven't had much rain at all. There's no great fishing within an hour of me, but we got a couple days of rain. So I'm out here hitting one of my favorite creeks just to see how it's held up. The water is cooler than I expected. There's a good bit of color to it. So we're gonna start with the topwater and see if we can't catch some. And I got some deadly Nedleys in the bag too, just in case I don't want to play with the topwater. So today I'm fishing with the new Kistler Kyrios rod. This is the budget Kistler. I've got the Daiwa Salamandura on it. This is a medium action, sort of an all-purpose rod. It is not made in America, but a lot of you guys have been asking for a budget Kistler. And so this kind of fits into the power BFS category. So I'm going to give it a try today. I'm starting off with the little Whopper Plopper 60. Oh, there we go. Second cast. Second cast. Where is he? Yeah, he just like slurped that off the top too. Little smallmouth. Little guys in. Hey. Knock it off. Okay, you're gonna play that way, huh? The way he's got these trebles, I can't really get a good grip on him. And I also don't have my reading glasses on, so I can't see the little dude. There we go. Okay, hopefully we'll get another one since we got one so fast that we can get a little bit better picture of. And honestly, we're looking for something a good bit bigger than that. Honestly, my first cast was basically just making sure the reel was set up the way I wanted it with the rod, so. There we go. Another little one. Another little guy. He's digging a little bit more. Well, he's a little bit bigger too. He's not as small. We're gonna net this one. He's hooked exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. He's got the front treble and then the rear trebles in his fin. So let's see if I can get the rear one out first. There we go. Oh, we got both of them at the same time. There we go, fish number 2, I think cast number 4. That wasn't the best cast, but as soon as it hit the seam, another one picked it up. I feel like the, oh, get that, and he like swiped at it apparently. There we go, fish number 3. 3 fish and 5 casts. Let's hope there's some big ones in here today. I'll get a leaf. Caught a leaf. Leaf and some grass. There's another one. He was up right at the head of the. It feels like, I don't think he's that big, but and he's got some fight for sure. Maybe the best one of the day. We're getting a little bit bigger. Getting a little bit bigger. It's a little bit nicer. And there we go. I mean, he's only maybe 9-10 inches, but definitely felt like a little something tapped it there. It's funny, it's not like there's no, haven't been any significant blow-ups yet. That little guy I saw come up for him. I waited, just let it sit there and wait. Quit flipping around so I can get the lure out of the net so you don't get hooked again when I let you go. Or I don't get hooked again. I can't count very high. I've already lost count. I don't know. I don't know if that's 5 or 6. Haven't got into any big ones yet, but to get out early in the morning on a weekday, catch a few when everybody else is at work, especially this time of year. I mean, and that's the thing about bait finesse in general, is even if you're catching small fish, they're fun. And while the Kyrios isn't a bait finesse rod per se, it does work for these heavier BFS applications. And not that the Whopper Plopper 60 is all that heavy. A lot of guys are throwing this on their standard BFS gear. Every hit has come either in the current or on the far edge of the current on the seam. Feels like it might be time to start working downstream a little bit here. Hit this first pocket. You know what, there's another little eddy right up here at the front. I'm gonna, on this side, I'm gonna run through there a couple times just to see. Wait, that wasn't a very good cast though. Sometimes there's fish on this side, up in this front pocket. There's a branch, I don't know if it hangs a little lower than the rest of them. And so I need to make sure I make a nice flat cast to get over there. And to me, that's one of the benefits of bait finesse. It's easier to make those flat casts. And the Kyrios with this lure is doing it very well. And no surprise, because it's a Kistler, the accuracy is pretty darn good. I can feel when the lure's, you know, when the Whopper Plopper, I can feel when the tail is spinning properly. You know, it's not as sensitive as my Hunt BFS or as the helium that I use. But it's a great feeling rod. And after that start, I kind of half expecting almost every cast to get a hit here, but let's move downstream a little bit. So looking down this way, I would say the water's up at least a foot from the last time I was down here. Oh, had a follow. Almost looked like a largemouth. Well, I know there's some fish down in this section. What I want to do is I want to give the Whopper Plopper a maximum of an hour, maybe 45 minutes, then switch over to a Ned rig. Ned rig, you got to fish a little bit slower. Oh, there's another one. Another one, that was a smaller one, swiped at it. And I'm probably just going to do this little section, because obviously there's a bunch of fish in here. Hopefully I can pick out, it should be the best section within, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of a mile either direction from what, now I haven't fished that far upstream, but I haven't been able to see it. That was a nice fish. Sitting here talking. That was a nice fish. I haven't been able to see anything on the maps. You know, a lot of it's private property up there. So I'm going to do a float hopefully in the next few weeks just to see what's in between two of my favorite sections on this creek. I think it's 2 or 3 miles worth of creek. So another fish back there. Definitely fish in this lower stretch. Some minnows. The last time I was down here, this whole stretch was like dry land. See all these little rock outcroppings and stuff that create current breaks on the edge with just a little bit of depth. Ooh. Again, I wasn't looking, just had a swirl on that one. Missed it. He was out in the middle too. I don't know if he followed it all the way or not. Definitely have not been as aggressive out of the rapids, but I feel like I've seen a couple nicer fish down here. So, and surprisingly, they've all been kind of more towards the middle of the stream too. It's a little shorter than I wanted. So now the question will be, will they hit the Ned rig? Well, that one came back for it. Doesn't feel too big, but at least we got one to wrap up on the Whopper Plopper. Yeah, he's a little guy for sure. Sometimes I swear you guys are determined to get a hook in me as payback, you know what I mean? There we go. I'm not sure how much of that last fish we got, but between the current and the rod setup, I'm not using a super light head for the Ned rig, but I am going to throw some Procure garlic nightcrawler on there. I'm just going to go for the full bang right off the bat with the old deadly Nedley. This will be a good test for the sensitivity of the Kyrios as well. Now this creek does have a lot of like moss covering the rocks. It's stuff to get hung up in, it's stuff to snagged on. There we go. Usually these things come out pretty easily. You know, it is a very irregular rocky bottom most of the way through here. So I do try to work it up. And again, the fish have already proven they're aggressive today, but you know, I am trying to keep this working a little bit, trying to prevent snags. This is exactly why I don't fish this technique very often in creeks. When you're fishing the Ned rig, you have to be ready to lose a few, and that's what I've just done. I swear that felt like a fish. must be stuck on an underwater branch or something, because I can still feel occasional vibrations. Okay, that one came off. That's good. Ooh. Yeah, maybe I'll just swim this, because that got picked up as I was swimming it in. We gotta fix the hook. Maybe we'll try that technique, because that was one cast and a snag. If I swim it in, the underappreciated Ned swim. Yeah, I see you down there. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't put scent on this one, even though I did have a hit on it. We're gonna scent this puppy up. And when you jig it around along like it, it almost looks a little bit like a tiny child rig. There we go. There we go. Back to single hook, we can just grab them. First on the Ned rig of the day. This first one we've landed. Oh, that one grabbed it when it went down to the bottom. There we go, that feels like a little bit better fish. He's just a fighter. It is a little bit better than what I've caught recently, but not much. He's absolutely smoked it. There we go. Absolutely smoked it. Okay, right there in the corner of the mouth. There we go. Nice fighter. Another one out of a very similar spot. Must be a little hole right there. Must be a little hole right there. Another little guy, little dink. And again, very similar spot. So, could there be a big one in there? Probably not. You know, in bigger rivers, they usually hang by size class. There's one. Little guy, looks like he's been caught. Oh, hey, largemouth. I thought he was fighting a little soft. See, throwing the topwater through here allowed me to confirm that there were fish in this section, right? I had a few follows, I had a few swipes at it. They all looked a little on the small side, which is, you know, every once in a while I catch a giant out of this creek, but for the most part, you know, it's a numbers creek for me. You know, on a good day, I'll catch double digits. I might be there already today, to be honest with you. Something tickled it there. It was weird. I'm like, it has this weird swimming feeling. Somehow the line got wrapped around the barb. Probably when it hit that rock over there. I really feel like this little pocket should have something in it, whether it's a rock bass or largemouth. There we go. Feels like a little smallmouth probably. Oh, what did we get? Nope, there's a rock bass. Species number 3 of the day. It's exactly what I thought. If nothing else was over there, those guys should have moved in. There you go. Ooh, even bouncing that along, I was able to get hung up. I see no reason to go away from chartreuse head with the green pumpkin body. I don't know if you can see, but this is one of those really hot and humid mornings, or even just putting my glasses on to tie on a lure, they get all fogged up. It's a hot one today. Tell you what, in this section, earlier with the Whopper Plopper, we were seeing them all in the middle. There have not been a lot. Doesn't seem like there's been a lot really up against the rocks. So there was another hit farther out. So it does seem like the fish have come into the current to feed with the rain and everything. So precision casting isn't as necessary. I'm still trying to hit all the little pockets around the rocks, but I'm not getting anything until it gets out into the water a little bit more. Out into the deepest part of the channel. And although I say that and I just had to hit real close to the bank that time. I'm just kind of swimming this thing along, and the way that fish grabbed it, it got all bunched up. It definitely seems like up here the Whopper Plopper was a better choice. Give us a few more casts, work the area a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to spend forever on it. If I can, I feel like I've got a couple other things in my bag probably. Okay, as luck would have it, I have a Megabass Karashi in the bag. Oh. First cast, it got a bite. Ooh. Got 2 bites on the first cast. This is one of the better fish of the day. He was the second. This is the best fish of the day. Okay. So there are some decent ones in here. Strong fish. Here we go. Not great, but healthy, fat, good fighter. There's one. Oh, got off. That one feels pretty good too. That one definitely feels good. Now he's probably in the current. But this is the best fight of the day. Yep, and he's a bigger fish too. Similar to the last one that I caught. Healthier yet. For the pliers. He's a heavy fish too. I don't know, pound and a half maybe. I don't know how long he is really. Ooh. I mean, that's a nice fish. I cannot complain about that at all. There you go. And honestly, he was right where I had said earlier that I can't believe that there wasn't a fish there. I think it was just a matter of finding the right lure. I mean, I've had some little ones hit this, but I've definitely had some bigger ones grab a hold of it too. So the Karashi is kind of like a subsurface walk the dog bait. Today I'm twitching it and letting it pause. And it seems like they're hitting it on the pause for sure. But it hangs like maybe a foot below the surface. And so topwater seemed to draw the most attention and produce the most, but then swimming the Ned rig, you know, like a couple of feet down was producing. So when I saw this in the bag, I'm like, well, this might be the perfect combo between what I've been throwing. There's another one, little guy. Little guy who's eating really well. No, nothing. Okay, so I've actually hit the time when I wanted to leave, but the fishing has been so good that I'm going to fish back through this other section with the Karashi, see if we can't pick up maybe a couple more decent sized ones. So wish me luck. You know, from the action that I had on the topwater, I mean interest, I wouldn't say action. So I had interest on the topwater through this section. I had some fish on the Ned rig. I really thought this was going to pick up a few by now. So I'm going to go down here just a little bit further. Looks like the water was up a little bit. You know, I don't know if there's going to be anything sitting in these rapids, but a little pile of logs down there. Basically, I'll fish down to about there. And for a few years, there was a big log jam here, so combination of the log jam and the deeper water, and this made this a really good spot. But there's not as much structure here. You've got those rocks over on that side. It looks like there could still be a log down there. Something just swirled on it. So that's a good sign. Boy, that guy came out of nowhere. That guy came out of nowhere and just slammed it. I was almost getting ready to pick it up. Woohoo! It wasn't huge, but he's bigger than average today. Starting to feel like white window has closed for the most part. I mean, I may catch a few more fish if I stayed here for a few more hours and work more of the creek. But... okay, well, we fished all the way down there. Had that one acrobatic hookup. Maybe we've let this spot reset a little bit. I want to say the bite window has closed. So anyway, that's the new Kistler Kyrios. Even the dragonflies like it. Third or fourth one that's been hanging out on it. The white rod, it's a nice look. I tell you, it was a lot of fun to fish. So these are typically around $100, sometimes on sale for 80-ish for a budget power finesse rod. I think this is going to be my go-to. I'm really liking it. Thanks for following along with me, and hopefully you can find some fun during the dog days of summer as well. I'm going to hit another section of this creek probably in the next video, so subscribe if you want to see some more creek fishing smallmouth. This is not my exit point. That is like solid mud right there. Too busy talking, not paying attention. This, just a little down. Not nearly as much mud, plus have these cool roots to step on and get up here. So, check for ticks when we get out of here and skedaddle home. It's only about 5 minutes from the house. Where are my keys? Where are my keys?